Hello, students. Welcome to our lecture on human nutrition. I'm Professor Reena Randhir. The main student learning objectives is for you to understand what food is made up of, what is the chemistry of food, and what are some of the basic dietary guidelines. Um, a brief overview of food labels, portion size. But the most important takeaway would be how our eating habits contribute to the carbon footprint. Have you ever thought about why you eat what you eat? What is it that drives your eating behavior? It's a whole range of factors. Of course, we eat to when you're hungry and when you have a healthy appetite. But there's also a lot of other psychological uh, reasons for eating, cultural, social. Sometimes it's just a habit, or sometimes you're just bored. We all tend to eat what we ate in our childhood, what mom made, what grandma made. Sometimes food is emotional for comfort, convenience, or like advertisement that you saw and you want to try it out. Sometimes it's we eat solely for nourishment. So there's biological influence. So the hypothalamus, the part of the brain that is responsible for homeostasis, is also responsible for appetite hormones, insulin, leptin, ghrelin, etc. There's psychological influences and social and cultural influences for your eating behavior. Before we find out what our human diet should be made up of, it is interesting to note the chemical composition of the human body will give us a clue as to what human nutrition should be. The human body, if you look, it's mostly water. It can be like 60 to 80% water. Then comes oxygen, followed by carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus. So these are the six or seven that is going to be the most predominant chemical in our body, element in our body. And we also have potassium, sulfur, sodium, chlorine, magnesium. That's also necessary, and it's found in the human body. 16% of the body. Coming to macromolecules, we have proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and minerals. So the only way all these minerals can be sustained in the human body in order to maintain life would be through our diet. So the most important concept here is metabolism, which is the stable internal environment in order for survival. There are two main uh, activities that happen in your body simultaneously. Catabolism refers to breakdown of molecules into smaller units and energy. And anabolism is making molecules by using these smaller molecules and energy. So whatever it is that you eat, your body will break it down into its individual components and make it for making the structures it needs. For example, carbohydrate here, when you say polysaccharide, it's a long chain of sugars that can be broken down to monosaccharides. And that is the source of energy in the human body. And fats can be broken down to make all the cell membranes. This is an overview of how a cell makes energy. So one of the main reasons for eating food, apart from building tissues and for repair and growth and development, is energy. No energy, no life. So the process by which the cell makes energy is called cellular respiration. So the glucose will combine with oxygen that you inhale. Oxygen is electronegative. It's going to grab the hydrogen from the glucose. So it's called redox reaction. And the byproduct is carbon dioxide that you exhale, water that you can pee out, and energy, ATP. Adenosine triphosphate is the energy molecule in our body. And the unit of energy is measured in calories. For example, the daily calorie intake for a woman is around, for an average sized woman is about 2,000. And for men, because they're built larger, it's 2,500. So the picture on the left is showing what is happening inside a cell during cellular respiration. There are three main steps. Glycolysis will happen in the cytoplasm, where a 6-carbon sugar will be broken down to 3 carbon sugars. The second step will happen in the mitochondrial matrix called citric acid cycle. The third step is called electron transport chain. But through these series of conversions and there's several enzymes that are involved, your body is going to harvest the energy in a glucose molecule. And energy is needed for survival. And then this picture on the right is showing how energy is used for maintaining the basic metabolic rate. The energy that's needed to sustain life. Coming to nutrients. So nutrients are found in our food, and it's going to provide structural materials for metabolism or for energy. And energy in the food is measured in calories. The nutrients that are required in large quantities are called macronutrients, and they are water, carbohydrates, fats, proteins. Carbohydrates will offer 4 kilocalories per gram, fats 9, and proteins 4. And this diagram is showing macronutrients that we need in large quantities and micronutrients which we need in smaller quantities. We'll look at each one of them. Macronutrients, water. 70 to 80% of your brain is water. Around 80% of your blood is water. So in other words, we are like a walking wetland. We need so much water. Water, some of the main functions for water, it distributes nutrients throughout the body and eliminates waste. All the chemical reactions that happen in our body, they say it's aqueous. That means it happens in a medium of water. All your body fluids, your cerebrospinal fluid, your synovial fluid in the joints, all of them are water-based. So it can act as a lubricant and a shock absorber. It is very good at storing heat, so it will play a huge role in homeostasis. This diagram in the bottom shows how much water you need. In general, if you divide your body weight by 2, and that's the amount of water in ounces. So if you're 150 pounds, you need 75 ounces of water. Here are the macromolecules. So carbohydrates, or carbs, has carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. It's the dietary energy molecule in animals. And it is made up of a monomer called monosaccharide. Monomer means 1 unit, mono, 1 sugar. More than 1 will be called as a polysaccharide. 2 is called as a disaccharide. Lipid is not a polymer. It is made up of 2 molecules. Here is a glycerol molecule, and this is a fatty acid molecule. Carbs are quick energy, whereas lipids are long-term energy storage. And they also are precursor molecules for hormones, steroid hormones in your body. So they are very vital. So examples are fats, steroids, and hormones. Enzymes are made up of amino acids. There are 20 different amino acids. It'll have a central carbon, amino group, a carbonyl group, and a side group. And all the hormones and enzymes in your body are mostly proteins. Your muscle contraction is a protein. There's lots of storage proteins, transport proteins in our body, like hemoglobin in your blood that carries oxygen. Here's more information of carbohydrate, the quick energy fuel in your body. Glucose is an example of a monosaccharide. You can see carbon, hydrogen, and hydroxyl ions. This is the ring structure. Fructose found in fruits is also a monosaccharide. Sucrose, our daily sugar, is a disaccharide, one glucose and one fructose. A long chain of glucose molecules is called as a glycogen, and this is how it's stored in our muscles and liver. It's a polysaccharide. If you take starch, which is a good source of carbs, is like pastas and potatoes, is also a complex carbohydrate. And complex carbohydrates don't spike your blood sugar immediately because they come associated with a lot of vitamins, minerals, and fiber. So this is what is suggested your diet should be rich in: complex carbohydrates. Fiber is also a type of carbohydrate. So here you can see cellulose that is found in plant cell walls. So it's a long chain of sugars, and they are tightly connected with each other with hydrogen bonds. So this is fiber. It is not digested. It is not absorbed in the body, but it has tremendous function in the body. It helps with digestion. It'll push food, it'll enhance peristalsis, which is movement of food down the colon, your GI tract. And also, like in the large intestine, partial fermentation of the fiber will help in the microflora or the probiotic microbiomes, and it will help in absorption of certain vitamins. The health protective function is that it has a role in preventing colon or rectal cancer, constipation, diverticulosis, even diabetes and obesity. And everybody, the American diet, I think it's short of the recommended dose, but this is the suggested dose. So salads high in fiber is very good for your diet. I forgot to mention water that we saw earlier is very important for digestion. It'll prevent constipation. Proteins are the building blocks in your body. There are 20 different types of them. And 11 of them can be made by your body itself. And 9 has to come from food. So proteins will make your antibodies in your body, the enzymes, the hormones, transport oxygen and nutrients, because hemoglobin is a protein. Your hair and nails are protein. There's lots of protein in the skin. So it plays a huge role in the human body. It will play a role in developing, repairing bone, skin, muscle, for muscle contraction, contractile proteins called actin and myosin. All the enzymes in your body are protein. So it's very important that your diet is rich in high quality protein. Fat is, proteins are a polymer of monomers called amino acids. Fats or lipids, on the other hand, is not a polymer. There are 2 molecules. This molecule is called glycerol, and then this is a long chain of carbon and hydrogen. It's called as a fatty acid chain. So that is why it is very, very high calorific value. So you have to be careful with fats in our diet. It is an energy source in our body. It is a very good insulator. So you can, the layer of fat under your skin keeps your body warm. Saturated fats are saturated with double bonds here. And because of, lack double bonds. Because of this, they are, the molecule has a linear shape and it can pack up on top of each other. And it's a solid at room temperature. saturated fats will have double bonds. And because of this, there is a bend in the fatty acid chain, a bend. And because of the double bond, the kink, it doesn't stack up on each other and it is liquid in room temperature. And these are better for health, optimal health, like olive oil or canola oil. The butter, saturated fats should be used sparingly. 30% of your calories should come from fat, not more than that. So I think 20 to 30%. The next category is micronutrients. There's both vitamins and minerals in it. So vitamins are organic, meaning they are carbon-containing molecules, and they function as coenzymes. Only vitamin D can be made in our body. And there's two types of vitamins. The fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, K, and E. And this picture kind of shows the sources of vitamins, all the fat-soluble vitamins. And we know how vital vitamin A is also called beta-carotene. It's a precursor of vitamin A found in leafy vegetables, and it's important for eye health. And D is important for the absorption of calcium, and so forth. Water-soluble vitamins are not stored in the body, like B and C, and they are very important for metabolism, immune function. Minerals are inorganic elements, and they will play a huge role in the structure of hormones, proteins in our body. They will also synergically work with vitamins, and also they're part of the bone structure. Some of the major minerals are calcium, phosphorus, iron, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and sulfur. The importance of calcium for, in the bones and also for muscle contraction, like iron, which is a part of hemoglobin in your blood. A lack of iron can cause anemia. And trace elements, minerals like iodine, zinc, copper, cobalt, magnesium, fluoride, and selenium are very important for optimal health. Iodine deficiency can cause goiter. And that's why, the table salt is iodinized. And for absorption of calcium, we need vitamin D. That's why the milk that you buy in the store will have, it'll say vitamin D milk. So this is an example of the synergy between vitamins and minerals. Phytochemicals are protective in nature. So these are, phyto means plant. So these are phytonutrients or phytochemicals. They are also called functional foods. They have specific research shows that they are high, they have antioxidant function, meaning they can neutralize free radicals, which are byproducts of metabolism. And because it's an antioxidant, it also comes with anti-inflammatory properties, and it can protect DNA, the arterial lining and cell membranes. And because of this protective nature, there are numerous studies that show that phytochemicals can prevent cancer because it's protecting the DNA. And here's some examples of phytophenols. We have flavonoids, phenolic compounds, flavonoids, quercetin, you might have heard of that, flavones, anthocyanins, and so forth. Food labels. It's very important for us to be aware and educated about food labels. So the food label will talk about the nutrients that are found in the food, and also portion size and calories. So since now you know what is good for you and what is not good for you, we can say, if it has less saturated fat, if it is high in fiber and proteins, it might be better for us. See here, it's like showing all the proteins in it. We should also keep in mind the portion control. See here, it says like vegetables. According to the food chart, portion control is very important. So what happens to food once you ingest it? So food is like also gives, apart from nourishment, it also brings about a lot of pleasure. It lifts your mood. It's kind of like a social and cultural thing. So here are the different parts of your digestive tract. So this is the journey of food from your mouth to the anus. This is the GI tract. But like many a time we eat with our eyes first. You just have to see food and then you start to salivate. So here in the oral cavity, we have our tongue and we have our teeth. So we chew our food, and carbohydrate digestion starts in the mouth itself. The salivary gland is an accessory gland that will produce some enzymes, especially saliva, and also the liquid to moisten your food. Pharynx refers to the back of your throat, and you swallow the food. The food that is mixed with saliva is called as a bolus. And then by peristalsis, which is the muscular contraction of the esophagus, the food will be escorted down into your stomach. And the liver, the pancreas, and gallbladder are accessory organs, just like salivary gland. So your liver will make bile. The gallbladder will store the bile, which is necessary for fat digestion. Pancreas will make a lot of enzymes for digestion. It will also make bicarbonate that will neutralize the acid when it enters the first part of the small intestine called duodenum. So most of the protein digestion, the hydrochloric acid will be found here. So the food is kind of sterilized once it drops in the stomach. Not all of it, spores and other microbes do escape it. So protein digestion by peptidases or pepsin will happen in the stomach. The liquid that travels from the stomach to the small intestine, this region is called duodenum, and the stomach fluid is called chyme. And it's at the duodenum that the gallbladder and the pancreas will secrete the juices, the pancreatic juices. Most of the absorption will happen in the small intestine. All the nutrients will be absorbed here. And then as it travels to the large intestine, the ascending colon, transverse, descending colon, sigmoid colon, water absorption will happen. And this is where the microflora or the probiotic bacteria is very, very important for optimal health. And all the waste will be compacted, will be excreted through the anus. Very interesting. This is another very interesting slide here. This is the study of the blue zones of the world. Blue zones means the people living here. There's lots of people who are over 100 years old. And studies, like you might have heard of the Okinawa diet. So this is this island near Japan, but that belongs to Japan. So these people, what is their secret to their long, long life? And here's the list of reasons that was common to all these 5 regions. There's this region, Loma Linda in California. There's a region in Costa Rica, Sardinia in Italy. There's a spot in Greece. So these are the blue zones of the world. And you can learn some good life lessons from these people as to why they are so healthy. Their stress is low. They don't overeat and they are active. But here, see this keyword, plant-based diet. They eat more plant-based foods and reduce their animal products. Here's a slide that talks about how we can reduce our carbon footprint of eating. We can do that by a quarter just by cutting down on the red meat in our diet. So here is the carbon footprint of a meat lover. See how high it is? and it's much, much low for vegan and vegetarians. This is some interesting data that shows, like we are in 2022. This shouldn't be so, but look at the hunger map. There are several regions in Asia and Africa that people are hungry and malnourished. Whereas here's another map that shows obesity index. So one part of the world has too much food and the other part of the world is starving. So this world hunger is driven by this inequality, poverty, regional conflicts, climate change, disasters, and emergencies. And I think as humanity, we should address this. It's urgent. 2 billion people lack micronutrients. And this is especially children. Millions of children are stunted and they lack access to clean water and food. Whereas in the developing worlds who have a very high carbon footprint, like 30% of the food is wasted. So here comes the most important slide in this lecture here. So here's the healthy eating plan. So this was first proposed by USDA. It was modified by Harvard School of Medicine. And here, so this is the nutrition guide. And it's talking about the proportion of vegetables and fruits. Nearly half the plate should be comprised of a variety of fruits and vegetables. And the other half should be whole grains and healthy protein and a lot of water according to your body weight, and healthy oils that don't clog your arteries. But the planetary, I want to tell you about the planetary health diet. What about the carbon footprint? We don't think about it, and I think we should start thinking about it. So this planetary health diet advocates a plant-based high protein diet and reducing animal products, because this is what is good for your health and the environment. There are several scientific studies that show the link between eating too much animal products and cancer, and even like diabetes and so forth. So this is the eating guide from different countries. They are fun to look at. Here's Cambodia. Here's like a pagoda shaped from China. The message is very similar. It's all about a balanced diet, like making every bite count, and coming with, it should be accompanied by the right amount of water and active lifestyle. But Brazil, here's a part of Brazil's food guide. Brazil is like very innovative, and it is the only food guide that I found that talks about sustainability. The food that you eat must be good for you and the environment. Healthy diet derived from socially and economically sustainable food systems. So this is the future. So what is the summary? We learned what a balanced diet is made up of. And it is the balanced diet with the right amounts of macro, micro, vitamins, minerals, water, phytochemicals is needed for optimal health. Research shows that reducing meat and meat process products will improve your health and the environment. If we are going to meet the Sustainable Development Goals proposed by the United Nations, or the reducing carbon footprint and stopping this climate change, keeping it within 1.5 degrees by 2050. If we have to achieve this, we need a mindset change we have to change our personal eating habits. It's mindful eating that will embrace the healthy planetary diet. And I hope your mind changes today. Thank you.